Welcome inside another edition of the WPIAL Insider Show, presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident at Edgar Snyder and Associates? There's never a fee unless they get money for you. Call 1-800-9-4EDGAR today. That's 1-800-9-4EDGAR today for a free consultation. Welcome inside to the show that is often imitated but never duplicated. And we welcome in our esteemed panel from the Pittsburgh Union Progress. You read his great insight. He is a WPIAL encyclopedia, Mr. Brad Everett, and the WPIAL Insider himself, a WPIAL record holder for Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
A WPIAL twerp, more like
Twerp.
Look it up. He is, as some people call him, a twerp. Carlos Zofko, the WPIAL Insider himself, and I am just Matt Fargo.
just Emmy Award-winning Matt Fargo.
Oh,
Hey, if you say so.
And
Thanks.
two-time pick champion Matt Fargo.
oh boy.
Wow. All right.
That should have been
All
me.
right.
Can't forget that.
Buttering me up here.
Big time.
Back inside the Blast Off Cleaning Equipment Studios and freshly furnished with our friends from Home Team Collections. Pine
Richland this
Richland,
week.
reppin'.
Woo, the
the squad.
Rams.
Pine Richland
Good for
ahead of their big showdown against Central Catholic on Friday.
We had Central Catholic last week. Now Pine Richland this week.
Ooh, best of the best.
Wow.
Mm.
1 and
Top
2 in the
teams
power
only. Here we
rankings
go.
here.
I think number 12 Sam Heckert was number 12 on the team last year.
That
He had a-
could be his
he had a
jersey.
big career. That could,
Might
that
be
could be
Sam's.
his jersey. Yeah.
Might be Sam's.
Lot to go over. Week 0 is in the books. That means this week everybody's at the party and everybody's active for week number 1, the first full week of slate of games. Although a lot of teams did play in week 0, that has really changed over the course of the 10 years that week 0 had been what it is. But we jump into our headlines and what stuck out to us in week 0. Carlo?
I'll tell you, it didn't stick out. It popped off to me. There's a receiver. Don Barron at Montour posted his highlights. Great highlights from Mr. Barron. Nice receiver highlights. What popped off the film was sophomore quarterback, lefty, southpaw, Brandon freaking Bennett.
They've got another QB there.
They got another QB at Montour. They took down Central Valley, which is a massive win. But, I've been hearing a lot of hubbub about Mr. Bennett. And let me say, that film was good. That is one where it is a, hey, rest of 4A, there's a dude here.
And he's a sophomore.
And he's a sophomore. And that's not the only one. James Boo Boo Armstrong at Hopewell.
Yes.
He popped off as well. So that sophomore quarterback class is looking really, really good. And I'll tell you another one that popped off. In a loss, Owen Herrick at Central Catholic. That was a tough game for Central. You're playing LaSalle, but hey, that's 6A within the state. Owen Herrick, you could see that ball pop off his wrist. So I think the cradle of quarterbacks is in great hands with these three. And there's a couple more really good sophomores as well. But yeah, I'm really excited about those 3 sophomores.
A positive takeaway from last week, Bradley.
That I was able to avoid further injury. That was one of the things. I've been dealing with this bad knee for a while. I almost got taken out by Scoop Smith at the end of the Woodland Hills North Allegheny
Oh,
game.
yes.
So luckily
Coming into your
avoided.
living room
I
there.
was trying to get, if for anyone that saw that game, Woodland Hills was trying to drive for a late touchdown. They had fallen behind in the final minute, and they're driving down the field, and Scoop Smith took a pass from Cam Walter, ran it down to about the 20-yard line while I'm standing on the Woodland Hills sideline at about the 20-yard line, and Scoop got pushed out of bounds. All of a sudden, I had to throw down my phone. All of a sudden, here comes Scoop and a couple tacklers coming right towards me. Luckily, my bad knee is my left one, and I was able to turn my body and avoid any contact on my left side of my body. So he just got me on the right side. Wasn't injured at all.
Thank goodness, Brad.
Scoop, man, no hard feelings, man. But yeah, it was. But I was able to avoid injury. But the next day was my big takeaway, actually, right there. Keemon Spell from McKee Sport. He was the big headliner, I thought, of the weekend. There were a lot of really good teams that played in that KDK Kickoff Classic, but he was the big star as far as performance on the field. There were a couple other big-time recruits there playing in those games. Of course, ones from LaSalle, especially Central Catholic, but Keemon Spell, 295 yards rushing and five total touchdowns.
Yeah, stole the show.
4 rushing touchdowns, including a kickoff return. He scored touchdowns in his first 3 touches of the game. 98-yard kickoff return, and then a 56 and an 80-yard run. His 1 touchdown run was one of those ones where he ran to the one sideline. There were about 10 would-be tacklers there. No one could get him. He reversed fields. Reggie Bush had one of those against Fresno State his last season at USC that was remarkable like that.
There's a freeze frame. I might post this on Insider. There's a freeze frame where it's just Kimon and about 6 defenders. And if I said that Kimon scored a touchdown on this play, nobody would believe it.
You'd say there's no chance.
And somehow he pulled the rabbit out of the hat, and the rest is history. So yeah, the Tigers look good. And shout out to KDKA Radio. That was a great event at the Wolverine.
It was.
I thought it worked out great.
Matchups.
Great matchups,
which is hard to do week 0, and you're navigating how teams are going to be based off of what they did last year or whatever. Yeah, they did a great job.
Did you happen to see James Harrison walking around there at the stadium?
I did see him in his tank top.
Tell him to put a shirt on.
Yeah, he was looking buff. If the Steelers need a linebacker,
I heard you took your shirt off to just kind of intimidate him.
I said, "Hey, James, right here, pal." So.
Well, James has 2 sons that play for North Allegheny. James, the senior, missed most of last year with an injury. He looked good in that game. He was flying around, had a couple tackles. I saw James before the game, and against my best interest, I went up to him and I introduced myself. He clearly didn't want to talk to anybody. He had his headphones in. He looked menacing. He had the beater on. He was probably flexing at the time. I walked up to him, introduced myself, asked him about his son. I don't think he really cared for me to walk over to him, but it was an interesting little meeting right there. But I digress.
One of the somber headlines of week 0 where we lost a member of the WPIAL football community. Ron Todd, the assistant coach at Wash High, passed away after their game on Friday, and obviously our thoughts and prayers with Ron and the entire Little Prexy community. Guys, it's something that, sports ends up helping to heal.
Yeah.
But, man, it hurts even deeper when it's taking place at the facility.
I'm getting goosebumps right now. I mean, I feel terrible for the Wash High community. He was a middle school teacher. I mean, I talked to 5 to 10 different people, and everybody raved about how great of a person, a father, and a coach he was. So, I feel really bad for Wash High and their whole community, and that's the school district as well, as he was a teacher. So, our thoughts and prayers are with Wash High here.
Yeah, Ron was a special ed teacher at Washington Middle School, head coach of the middle school team too, apparently. And our thoughts and prayers with them. Mike Bosnick is. Man, he is a guy that I respect a lot down there, and I know he has a lot of good men on his staff, a lot of good people, and Ron was one of them.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers to the Little Prexies, and I would have to imagine that they're going to be playing this season in his honor the rest of the way.
For sure.
That hopefully can be a positive from a tragedy here early in our high school football season. Again, thoughts and prayers with all involved there. Going to the next headline, Brad, do you have another one you had to take away from?
I would guess probably that Central LaSalle game, just because it was such a heavyweight battle and it was billed as one. And, Central, of course, fell in that game 23-6, but they showed a lot of fight in that game. I mean, there was no score. I think both teams were held without a point on their first 2 possessions, and they were going at it, and eventually LaSalle broke through, led only 10-0 at the half, though. And, this was a, 16-0 game or something in the third quarter. So, I mean, this was a close game. Herrick, as you mentioned, looked pretty good. Had that touchdown pass to Navy recruit Maceo Watkins. That was the one score for Central. So, great test for them. I mean, they're, probably, quite possibly the best opponent they may face all season. And if it's not them, it might be the one they face this week, and that's going to be Pine Richland.
I would agree. And, the question becomes, does Central Catholic start 0-2 again?
Mm-hmm.
But, gentlemen, we're missing the biggest storyline of the WPIAL football this last week. Central Catholic has cheerleaders now.
Oh my goodness, that's right.
They
I saw
have
your tweet.
cheerleaders.
What's the story?
I mean, I had to wipe my eyes. I said, "Is this Central Catholic Cheer?" So I asked them for a picture. They took a picture, and I'll tell you what, they are cheerleaders, so of course they're smiling and high energy. But these girls, I mean, they were all in. It was very cool. So pretty much, I asked. I said, "Well, where are you guys from? Is this from all around? Are you siblings? What's the deal?" And they were Oakland Catholic cheerleaders, which was really, really cool. And then the last time, there was a big fight in the WIPY Insider feed when I posted this, because somebody said they've always had cheerleaders. And I said, no, they haven't at all. No, they haven't.
Carlo would have known in school if they had cheerleaders.
People were going back to their, I would have for sure known. They were going back in their yearbooks. The last known Central Catholic cheerleading squad, 1993, the year I was born.
Wow.
Because I thought it was 1987, but there was a little bit of a couple year gap, and then they were back in 93. But according to many sources, going through all their yearbooks, 93 was the last time Central Catholic had cheerleaders. So
the first National Football League team to have cheerleaders, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow, how about that?
Had cheerleaders for the first time, and then
now they don't have them.
Decided to not have them. I think they should bring them back, but what do I know?
Yeah, I would be equally shocked to see them at a Steelers game.
I know. Maybe they'll get the Oakland Catholic cheerleaders at the Steelers game.
Maybe they will. Do we know a reason? Like why this year? Why are they back?
So I guess there was just interest from some of the girls that, hey, we wanted to cheer squad, and one thing led to another, and
that's such an important part of their high school experience. I mean, cheering for basketball games is one thing, but at the same time, cheering on a Friday night, I'm sure for that group is going to be special, and not having that opportunity in years past, good for them to be able to band it together. I'll be curious to see if they turn this into a cheerleading squad for Central Catholic basketball.
I kind of hope they do. They were really, really good. They had all their cheers. I wasn't watching them per se, but the couple times that I glimpsed over, I was like, oh, they were pretty good cheerleaders. So yeah, very, very, very excited for Central Catholic.
Well versed in cheer.
Well, let me tell you,
cheer etiquette.
They weren't cheering much in the second half. Hate to say it.
Just wait about a month from now. Carlo is actually going to be breaking down best cheers around the WIPIAL and WIPIAL cheer insider maybe or something like that. It can be an off.
Not a bad idea.
Bring It On 8 will be featuring Carlo Zofko as a judge.
Here we go. Now we're talking.
All right. Well, let's jump into our next segment. What's hot and what's not? We'll tell you what it is around the WPIAL. Each of us will take and let you know what we think is hot from last week and what is not from last week. And leading off, let's go with Brad Everett.
Raising Cane's, and we're not talking about the chicken place I'm going to hit up when we get finished up eating here today. I'm talking about the Red Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes.
Newcastle. Hey, Newcastle's not all just Ralph Blundo and that basketball team. Fred Mazzocco got doing a great job here with the football team. They were off to a good start last year. Won their first, I think, 4 games last year, but they finished 5-4. Last week, though, they beat Penn Hills. Not only beat Penn Hills,
shut them out.
12-0. Newcastle over Penn Hills, 12-0. Like that's not a score we're used to seeing or anything like that.
Do you think that sent shockwaves to the other 5A teams? Or I'm sorry, the other 4A teams?
Especially in that conference.
Yeah.
I mean, if they weren't aware, one of the things that surprised me about this is Newcastle lost several key guys. I mean, they lost their starting quarterback, running back, receiver, D2 guys that are at Slippery Rock, and like Kayvon Gardner was a running back. He was a big time speedster track guy, and they were able to do this with a freshman quarterback too, Marino Graham, who is expected to make a pretty big impact for the Newcastle basketball team this year. He's the starting quarterback, threw a touchdown, had a touchdown run in that game. Also, I was looking at the box score earlier. Kai Cox played in that game. Kai Cox playing football this year. He did not, as a freshman, start on the basketball team, yet still got a Division I offer last year from Akron. They offered him despite not playing high school football, but he is out for the team.
Doesn't happen every day.
No. Doesn't happen every day. And he was the leading receiver there on Friday night, had 5 catches, I think 70-some yards. So Yeah, watch out for the Newcastle Canes. Man, Red Hurricanes here off to a nice start, and we'll see what they have here. They could be a team that we hear a lot more from this year.
I'll tell you this. I put them at number 21 on my top 25 teams and kind of got some flack. And I don't want to say I did it blindly because there was a basis for this. Coach Mazzocco is an unbelievable Western Pennsylvania high school football coach.
Yeah.
And, he's built the foundation the last couple years. I felt like, hey, this is probably the year they take a step. And I would like to say I was right. I would like to say I'm wrong, though, because I only had them at 21. I should have had more faith.
That was the first meeting between Penn Hills and Newcastle since 1977, and the first time Penn Hills ever went to Newcastle to play the Red Hurricanes. Yeah,
interesting.
Very cool.
Interesting. Yeah, because like for those that for the young people out there, Newcastle at one time was a powerhouse. Like back in the day, but it hasn't been that way for a while.
Fireworks capital of the world.
The Zambellis. Oh yeah,
the first family of fireworks.
The first family of fireworks.
That was their tagline, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Right? Yeah.
Zambelli,
okay.
Yeah.
Hot for you.
What's hot for me is WPIAL goal lines and not the defenders, just the goal lines themselves. A couple times, did a ball cross the goal line? Did it not? Clarendon versus Amani, you were at that game. Clarendon reaches across the goal line. Ball comes out. Amani gets the ball. Norwin versus Penn Trafford to win the game. Tristan Tavares probably got in. If you're, we get the courtesy of replay. The officials do not. But Tristan Tavares probably in to upset Penn Trafford. Ends up his own teammate accidentally kicked the ball with his leg. And, refs call it out and, Penn Trafford wins. And Scoop Smith, he almost did the impossible. Take a little.
He's 10 yards shy. It's not almost.
It was. You were there, Brad. It was electric when he was running around.
It was. And he started off that game all over the place. I mean, he had an interception early on. He had a long touchdown. And it's like, woo, like Scoop's about to put on a show here.
I've never heard cheers from a stadium go back and forth that final play. Because when he was running around, all of Woodland Hills was going nuts. And then when North Allegheny catches up to him and knocks him out, then all of NA, went nuts. It was just quite the momentum, but
we're talking about goal lines here, and then he stopped at the 10-yard line.
Well, this one was close, just because
I think it has something to do with your pick, and you wanted it to be that close.
I did want it to me, it was inches away, inches away.
See,
but the WPIAL goal lines for sure are hot, and I don't necessarily like that because I did think Norwin probably had a statement win taken from them.
I saw the replay of that, and it was hard to see from the angle that I saw because it was kind of from like behind the offense a little bit. What they needed in that game, they needed the pylon cam, which I think JRM.
We sure do.
The pylon cam.
I mean, if they would have had the pylon cam and used that, maybe they would have gotten that right.
What was the situation in the Clarendon Amani game?
Run to the left side, and we thought, the whole stadium thought that he was in. The fireworks, the band, everybody was striking up the tune, and then it was just kind of that slow. Everyone starts doing one of these. Yeah. And, the officials call it that he was short, and it would be a turnover. It was a fourth down play, turnover on downs.
Okay. I knew it wasn't. Okay, that's what
and that's Amani ended up taking over, and shortly thereafter scoring had a 80-yard rush.
Oh, that was right after.
Right, yeah.
Oh, so talk about a momentum.
Oh, it was huge momentum shift.
Yeah.
And Amani goes up 2 scores.
So I should have been 8-2 is what I'm hearing.
Could have been. Could have been. You and me both, brother.
Yeah, both of us, yeah.
What was the atmosphere like that?
It was incredible. Yeah. I mean, obviously the christening of Tyler Boyd Stadium and all of the pomp and circumstance that went around that, and the fireworks. I mean, I could barely, for a single A venue, to produce the noise that it did. I could barely hear our open. Mike Logan was calling the game with me, and we were both looking at each other like, oh, my goodness,
really?
It's that loud. Yeah. Obviously Clarendon showed out, and Amani fans showed out too, to really make that a cool atmosphere for that first game. And it was still cool that Clarendon scored the first touchdown, and Tyler went over and congratulated them and those types of things. But a very sloppy sloppy game.
There was a
19
lot of that.
penalties.
There was a lot of that.
A lot of cramping, which
yeah.
that goes to our friends that we talk about, the conditioning and all that side of things. Some of them are unavoidable, as especially on such a muggy, humid, hot day, which we're not going to get much of this Friday. I think to everybody's excitement, it's gonna feel like football in week 1, but very, very cool atmosphere to be a part of, and will be interesting to see if I almost feel like that game, if it was played in week 5 or 6, would be electric.
Oh,
once
for sure.
everybody,
gets their footing in.
yeah,
and,
that was a we both haven't boxed in a while fight, and we're gonna just kind of dance around for a while, and but I tell you what, between Gabe Jenkins is legit.
Oh yeah,
he is legit.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he is somebody we will be talking about on Saturdays and likely Sundays for sure.
Yeah, that run he had, I mean, you could see it last year, just the power. Like, there's just some kids every once in a while, when their legs are turning, you're like, man, that looks like it would hurt if I tried to tackle that.
Right.
And he is one of those kids, and he took it up another level his junior year.
And if there's one thing we did question about Imani in the past, it was their line. And it seemed like that line held up pretty good in that Clareton game. I saw a quote from Wayne Wade afterwards, Clareton coach Wayne Wade, saying that might have been the difference in the game. His line maybe not being quite up to par. So,
and according to Leroy Johnson, they got a lineman or two that is still out.
Oh,
so
really?
Okay.
Could be plugging
so
in.
Maybe getting better.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Bad news for the rest of Class 3A, I'll tell you that.
Sure is. My hot is the Bethel Park Blackhawk offense.
Oh,
boy, were they hot. Over 600 yards of total offense, 359 yards passing, 238 yards rushing. They have now the number 1 quarterback in the WPIAL in terms of passing, and the second leading rusher in the WPIAL in passing. The Blackhawks are red hot, and we were just talking about a team similar to Bethel Park in the terms of the turnover. We're just talking about Newcastle and having to replace a bunch of people. Bethel Park, fresh off a very good season a year ago.
Offense.
Everybody is on.
Gracious,
And they have just plugged and played, and Phil Peckage has done a really tremendous job there. And that's a good indication of a good coach, right? When you have that turnover and you're able to level up. Now, we'll see pretty quickly.
It's a tough conference.
Yeah, it is. But what a way.
They played up to 6A in Seneca Valley. Seneca Valley is no rollover team.
Sure.
Good solid program. Yeah, to put up those stats, I mean, that sends a statement. And I mean, David Dennison last year, their player of the year, their running back, my goodness. Javon Moore. When Javon Moore was injured for a little bit last year, David Dennison went in and put up some bonker stat lines. So, it was one
like
of those,
that good that hold back, that back that you store away in fantasy, and like
no doubt, you know he
right. Yeah, like if anything would have happened to Moore, Dennison would have been like a gold mine.
Absolutely.
Year, right?
I'll tell you who it is. Remember way back in the day, the San Diego Chargers had LaDainian Tomlinson, and their backup was Michael Burner Turner. Michael Turner goes to Atlanta and runs for like 1,500 yards. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's go to the knots. Carlo, what was your knot?
Oh, what's not? I mean, I'm going to keep harping on this because I feel like this game was stolen from me. Woodland Hills, their penalties.
Oh,
my
boy.
Goodness, over 20 penalties, 200-plus yards and penalties before a second ticked off the clock. Think about this. Before 1 second tick off the clock, 3 different Woodland Hills penalties. There was one. It was a delay of the game on the kickoff, which I don't even know how that's a thing. I think that was some officiating error. Then the kicker kicks it out of bounds, and then they jump off sides before the first snap. I mean, everybody's like, are we for real now? And every single critical moment, every extra point. I mean, honestly, Woodland Hills is a 2-touchdown favorite over
an official error on a delay game on a kickoff.
I think they started the clock without letting anybody know. Is what happened.
Okay.
Because the 25-second clock started ticking down.
To get Gene's territory.
I would love to get Gene. And you know who's a good Gene's territory is Greg Finley for KDKA Radio. He's like our rules expert, so I need to call Greg and get some rules consultation here. But I mean, it was remarkable. And then even on the final drive, North Allegheny, there's only a minute left.
Yeah.
Woodland Hills takes a bad 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty away from the play, had nothing to do with the play, and a couple plays later, NA scores. So yeah, I think Woodland Hills is probably in the film room kicking themselves a little bit because they probably should have won by 14 points against NA.
Yeah. Also, I think they lost. What did they lose by 2? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it was. Well, they had penalties on 2-point conversions.
That's right. Yeah, it was
Like one of them, they converted the 2-point conversion, got called back as a penalty. They went for it again and didn't get it. So there's your 2 points right there.
Yep. And there was multiple instances of that. So yeah, if you can tell I'm a little bit salty about being wrong about that pick.
I couldn't imagine being a coach and your team, the first 2 or 3 plays of the season, you commit a penalty. Head would just explode.
I mean,
like, already this is happening already.
It reminded me in the ACC championship game of 2018. Pitt football comes out after halftime, 15 minutes on the clock, touchback, 1st and 10 on the 20, ball in the middle of the field. We had to take a timeout. We didn't have a play. It's like right after halftime, and the announcers were even like, Pitt did not take a timeout. Something's going on down on the field. And the other announcer said, no, I think Pitt just took a timeout with 15 minutes on the clock. So it almost felt like that. So I do feel bad for the Wolverines. But hey, week 0, sometimes things are sloppy. That's where you make the most improvement from your first game to your second. And I think Woody High moving forward will be a tough out for sure.
Yeah.
My knot is transfer eligibility.
Ooh.
I just, what really irks me, and we've talked about this on the show a lot, but when it comes down to it, the fact that a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kid is not getting a chance to play on a Friday night because a decision that ultimately and more times than not isn't his, and you're not getting to go out there and play, and you're being the one punished for adults' decisions that likely had their 4 years of eligibility when they played back in the day. I hate to see it. I understand that there needs to be rules and parameters, but I also think if I'm a high school kid and I'm looking at the college landscape and I'm like, how do we have less of a opportunity than the college kids do right now where it's totally open season? And then even from a parent side, at the end of the day, whether you're going to a public school and you're paying school taxes or you're going to a private school and you're paying tuition, someone is, whether you're getting a grant or whatever, there's money being pushed in there. That high school sports is a part of everyone who wants it to be a part of their high school experience. And we need to stop kidding ourselves that partially for athletic intent, I want to get rid of that. If it's fully for athletic intent, if there is proof that there was recruiting and that is the reason, maybe that is the answer. But partially for athletic intent, and at least in my mind, it is a part of the equation because
how could it not be?
Because we're lying to ourselves because that Joe Smith is not going and transferring because he likes Miss Quinn as the math teacher.
Yes.
That we're lying to ourselves here. And that's why I just, the first week of the season, and I'm just thinking about the Anthony Smiths of the world not being a part of Friday Night Lights because of this political game. It doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kids that always pay for it, too.
Yeah.
And he transferred to Fairmont High School in West Virginia, so he's out of the WPIAL. So you just lose another.
I didn't realize he's at Fairmont.
Yeah,
Okay.
I talked to him this week, said, hey, are you anywhere? And he said, yeah, I went to West Virginia to play. And, in my opinion, how do you transfer to some place like, I mean, those guys just went through camp. Maybe they did need a quarterback, I guess, but it's almost not fair to the Fairmont High School quarterback, who just went through all offseason and all of camp with his guys, and then, a transfer comes in, but neither here nor there. So, yeah, I don't know. It was one of those weird situations, but you hate to see Anthony go, but what can you do?
Yeah, one of the guys that left the area to go elsewhere was Senior Brooks, and he was on national TV this weekend playing for St. Francis Academy against Chaminade Madonna from Florida. They put the hammer down on Chaminade pretty good. Senior Brooks had a long TD run in that game, looked pretty good. So, good to see.
That was
he's
another
come
one.
out pretty good.
I didn't understand the transfer. I didn't get it.
Yeah, he was getting the looks.
Yeah.
He was already highly touted, and on the verge of having the
Yeah.
breakout season this year for the Quips. Yeah, I didn't get that
There's
one
at
either.
least there's another Aliquippa kid, Jamar Allen, I think, is down there too. Lineman.
yep.
So they have a couple Quip kids down there. I think Jance Henry, someone's had a pretty big game for Bishop Hoban.
Who's at
I think
Hoban,
this
yeah.
weekend
I
too,
bet
so.
he did. I mean,
Yeah.
the Central Valley would have loved to have him. But
Always have a chance with Chance.
yeah.
That's right.
Got to get it in when I can.
Got to.
What's your knot, Brad?
My knot is the Class A Eastern Conference, a conference that on this same stage last week I talked up, and about how dangerous they are and how many good contenders they have. But this was not a good week 0. Eastern Conference was almost a 0 there in week 0. Look at all these losses. Clairton goes down. Jeanette, Greensburg Central Catholic, Leechburg goes down. They only had 2 wins. I think just Fraser and Riverview were the only 2 teams in that conference that won a game. So a bunch of teams in there I expect to be pretty good and maybe make it, as far as maybe the WPIAL quarterfinals. Clairton, of course, we know they're, like one of the championship favorites. Jeanette, I love, but it was not a good opening week for them, but they'll bounce back.
Yeah, surprisingly tough week for those guys. So
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Hot and not in the books for week number 1.
first one of the season.
First one of the season, and we're up against a break. When we come back, Carlo will be able to name our player of the week for the first time in 2025. And when we come back, we will be rejoined by the panel for the first edition of the WIPY Awards, as we will hand out the very best through week number 0. It's a WPIAL Insider Show presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates, and it comes back right after this.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.
Back inside the WPIAL Insider Show presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates and Home Team Collections. And tonight, I'm joined by somebody who's been helping sports programs raise money for over 25 years. He's the owner of Black Bear Fundraising and represents Vertical Raise donation platform here in Pittsburgh, and it's the South area of Pittsburgh specifically. It's not often we get the same guest twice in 3 weeks, but here we are. We have some exciting news. We're proud to announce that Black Bear Fundraising is the official fundraising sponsor of the WPIAL Insider Show. Very, very happy for that. With that partnership, we're actually launching something brand new this season. The WPIAL Insider Show Player of the Week and the WPIAL Insider Show Coach of the Week Award. A huge thank you to this man right here, Tom. Tom, thanks for this idea. We're excited about it.
Oh, thanks for having me. We're glad to be a small part of your show. When we got together at the last show, we started trying to think, how can we tie this all together?
Yeah.
And with Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Pittsburgh, we've got I cover the south of Pittsburgh, and then I've got a friend of mine, Vince DeVito, that works the north of Pittsburgh. So he and I were glad to sponsor the show, be part of it, player and coach of the week every single week. And it's just really a cool thing to do.
Exciting times in the WPIAL Insider Show. This is so awesome. So here it is, the official fundraising partner of the WPIAL Insider Show. Let's kick it off. I mean, let's talk about how this partnership even came together.
Well, last time I was on the show, we talked about Chad Reed from Home Team Collectibles, how he and I got together. And we don't need to rehash it, but we met at the Glazier Clinic. We became friends, hit it off. I had a part of my company is digital art. And we were able to, I told him, I said, I've got a product that matches your incredible framed matted jerseys perfectly. That's when we started talking, and our digital products, they look like they're matted. They look fantastic. The detail on it even the player and the coach of the week, your WPIAL Insider Show, the logo looks like
it pops.
It's
It
3D
pops, yeah.
popping off. So that's what we take a lot of pride in. I know Chad has the finest framed matted product anywhere in the nation, really, and we believe we have the best digital.
I would agree. You two combining forces. I mean, it was like Thanos collecting his stones. You know, it really was. It's a fantastic piece. Super proud super excited that both of you guys are with us at the WPIAL Insider Show. And let's just jump right into the Player of the Week award. You actually were out in McKeesport, so we're going to play the Player of the Week video award right now.
Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Race Pittsburgh is proud to present the WPIAL Insider Show Player of the Week Award. Each week for the entire season, we're going to be awarding a player and a coach every single week. And this week we're here at McKeesport High School. We got Coach Matt Miller, and we have Keemon Spell, who is our first weekly winner. Keemon, you have anything you want to say?
Yes, sir. I just want to thank my coaches and my team, especially the guys up front, the O-line. They've been pushing things for 8 months, and we finally took that step up there. We're coming for it all this year.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Congrats to Come On Spell. Tom, you were out in McKeesport today. How was Come On?
You know, it's so funny. When he came out, he had his game face on, and I'm like, oh, here we go. When he saw the award,
Yeah.
what a contagious smile he had. He was grinning from ear to ear.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't chisel that smile off his face. He was so happy. He was just like, oh my gosh. And we had a lot of fun with it. He goes, I got a lot of awards this week. He goes, this one's the best. I was like, my man, I love it.
Absolutely. We love to hear that, Mr. Spell. I mean, a 5-touchdown performance. He just went bonkers. And at one point, he had 3 touches, 3 touchdowns with an average carry or average touch of 72 yards per touch. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And here in the studio, you actually have the Coach of the Week as well?
Yeah, but before we get to that, for the Player of the Week?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Bethel's one of my teams I work with. So Phil Peckich, I'm watching his offense blow up.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, my man, I said, they're going to get one of those studs is going to get Player of the Week. And then all of a sudden, you got the stud from McKeesport going crazy.
Yeah, come on, just took it to another level. David Dennison, 278 yards, 4 touchdowns for Bethel Park. I mean, certainly was in the conversation. Tegan Krause from Waynesburg Central, another one in the conversation. But Mr. Spell just took it up one more level. But that's going to be so cool about this award every single week is just looking at the box scores and seeing who did what. It's not going to be easy to win. You're going to have to put up an insane stat line. No doubt about it.
So I was talking to Coach. I'm like, Coach, I might see a couple more times this year.
there's a decent chance. There's a decent chance.
He was like, Coach of the Week. I'm like, well, I won't ruin your thunder. I'm like, you need a little more work to do to get on that one.
Yeah, although he did, they represented the WPIAL well, beating Delaware River pretty handedly at the Wolf Arena. So, yeah, they definitely represented well. So, Coach Miller, we're very close to naming you Coach of the Week. Just need a little bit more.
There you go. Well, in the next couple of weeks, he gets an upset here.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. He's close. He has Peters Township this week.
Got some big, yeah, he beats Peters Township. I'll be going right back there.
It's this week.
Oh, my.
Coach of the Week. Do we want to announce it on the show right here?
Absolutely. Now, like I mentioned, Vinny DeVivo, my partner that works north with Vertical Race North, he'll be delivering this to Coach. He wasn't able to deliver it today, but there it is.
Here it is. Beautiful. Coach Fred Mazzacchio, the Newcastle Hurricanes. I mean, a shot heard round the world. They go up to Penn Hills. Mind you, Newcastle's a 4A team. Penn Hills is a 5A team.
No doubt.
They blank Penn Hills and sent shockwaves throughout the entire WPIAL. So Coach Muzzy and the Newcastle Canes, here they come. I've been excited for Newcastle ever since Coach Fred got hired. He's just been building the program, and we're starting to see the fruits of his labor here. So congrats to Coach Mazzacchio for the WPIAL Insider and Black Bear Fundraising Coach of the Week.
And Vertical Race.
Vertical Race
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
And also with our partnership with Home Team Collectibles, because if you see this digital product, If it's up on a wall, it looks like it's matted, and like we mentioned, your logo is just hopping or popping off the page, and just we take a lot of pride in the art and really how the design of this, and just make it look 3D. And when it's on a wall, you would swear it's matted, but of course, since it's a digital product, it's a lot more economical. So we love these products.
It looks great, and thank you to Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Pittsburgh for doing this. We're going to have a lot of fun on this show every single week doing it with this. But back to fundraising, you told me something interesting about Peters Township. It kind of blew me away. Can you share or elaborate on the show for us?
Yeah, when I was on the show last, I don't know where they were, but they're at like with our Vertical Raise product, which is a donation platform. I think they're pushing over $32,000 already.
Oh my! On Vertical Raise.
On Vertical Raise alone, and then with our fundraising cards that we do with them, they raised another $25,000. So 30 plus 25. I mean,
so you're well over 50,000 in Peters Township. I mean, that
more
is
like 57.
That is massive for any football program out there, any club, any cheer program or band program. You need to hit up Tom here with Vertical Raise and Black Bear Fundraising. That is remarkable, and it's needed in Western Pennsylvania because, to have an unbelievable program, you need funding for it. That's huge. So over 55,000, if my math is correct.
Yes, over, pushing 56, 57.
57,000. Holy smokes.
Here's the big thing, because everyone hears Peters Township, they're a big school district, everything. We work with big and small. So I was just with an AD this morning, and we were talking about the bowling team. I'm like, how many kids are on the bowling team? He goes, I got like 10. There's like 25. I'm like, do they need some cash to do some stuff? He goes, absolutely. It doesn't matter. ROTC, the band, we work with the dance, the theater, anything. When you have a good group of kids together, and
they can do some awesome things.
Absolutely, and the system. Vince and I are with you every step of the way. You don't have to do anything. We do a little pre-launch, which takes about 5-10 minutes, and then we come back a week later and we do the actual launch. We do a parent share, so the parents know exactly what's going on. We get solid 20 or more emails, solid 10 or more numbers to send text to. We do a little call-a-thon.
Oh, nice.
And then what we do is we try to set up somewhere where we have some audio visual, and we'll put it up live. And every time a donation comes in, it goes cha-ching, cha-ching.
Nice.
And the kids go nuts. And normally what we'll do is if the student athlete or ROTC or the band or drama or whatever, if each participant gets 5 or more donations, then all of a sudden they go into the drawing, and we do some nice drawings for them. So get them excited, get them
excited, keeps them rolling. Now, the last time you were here, we discussed what really separates Vertical Raise apart, and that's guaranteed percentage back, no performance penalties. There's no real hidden criteria or kind of hidden red flags. That's massive.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of my coaches I work with, they're like, hey, you need to help us find a donation platform. We started at 85%. Now we're down to 70% because not all of our kids put in all their information, or, we understand that. You're going to have...
You're going to have some hiccups somewhere. This high school kids, we shouldn't be penalizing financially, especially if somebody doesn't put in all their emails or phone numbers.
Exactly. Or for one reason or another, they can't, or they have other issues outside of, sometimes life gets in the way. So ours are guaranteed 100%. We do what we say we're going to do. And then also the nice thing too is with our email, we're certified. So what that means, almost 100% of our email actually makes it there.
So no bounce backs.
No bounce backs, or limited, very limited.
Right.
So think about this. You ask all your player athletes or student athletes or the band or whomever, hey, work hard, go out and get 20 email. And then, like with some of our competitors, 30, 40% of them get kicked back. Well, potentially your fundraiser is gaining 30, 40% less funds. So that's, it's not me so much. It's more Vertical Raise, our company, the technology. Vince and I just doing it the right way, implementing it.
Yep.
And the rest, it takes care of itself.
And is that why you and Vinny decided to partner with Vertical Raise here in Western Pennsylvania, just because of that?
Yeah, we really honestly feel it's the best in the nation.
I would agree, and
400.
I've seen a lot of different platforms. I agree. Vertical Raise really is something awesome.
Yeah, you got 400 reps across the nation, and you might not have heard of vertical raise locally because there really wasn't a presence here with vertical raise. Vince and I, we have 50 years combined experience in Western Pennsylvania fundraising. A lot of companies have come in and tried to infiltrate, and they really haven't been successful because Vince and I have a lot of relationships with a lot of coaches that are pretty solid. So when we looked around, a lot of our coaches were like, hey, we need to find a donation platform that we can trust and make sure you're working out in our best interest. And that's why Vince, I mean, we take a lot of pride in what we do. And like I said, you could have a very small group or you could have a very large group. It doesn't matter. Our system and our program is exactly the same, whether it be 25 bowlers, 12 on the ROTC, whatever you have.
Band, cheerleading, all these different types.
You have 140 kids in the band, well, that's fine too. It's the same exact process for all of them. Not every team is going to push 35K like TJ Plack. A lot of the football teams will do 25 with us.
But still, I mean, obviously Peters Township is shooting for the stars here. But even if it's 10 to 15,000, that's massive for a program. Yeah. I mean, that's going to feed your players for a little bit, and these guys are hungry.
We have volleyball teams in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you could imagine in the middle of nowhere. They're pushing 8-10 grand.
Wow, yeah. So that's awesome. And the links will be right down here below for both the Vertical Raise Pittsburgh area and the Black Bear fundraising. We can't thank Tom enough for sponsoring the Player of the Week and the Coach of the Week.
And
Vinny, of course. Yeah, I mean we're so very thankful for you guys. Can't really put words to it. We're gonna have a lot of fun on the WIPY Insider Show with this segment.
That's what it's all about, man.
Any closing remarks, my friend?
That's it. Like I said, big or small, we're out here for you. We are with you every step of the way. All we ask you to do is hold your players or your participants accountable. Vince and I take care of everything. So a lot of coaches are like, "What do I got to do? What do I got to do?" Hold your players, hold your participants accountable.
Yeah.
You have the admin on the back end, so you could see, hey, who didn't load their pitcher like we asked them to?
Right.
Everyone said they did, but you had 3 players that didn't. You can go back to those players. Maybe you had a couple players that didn't send out the parent share. You see that right away. So it's really a great program. Another thing too with the artificial intelligence we have. Say there's a popular teacher in your school, so every single kid's going to send an email to that teacher. The first one that goes through, it goes through. The rest of them are blocked.
Oh, very cool.
So you're not
very cool.
You
you're not getting spammed.
Yeah, you can't hammer the same person. So that makes it nice too.
Right.
So the great technology combined with Vince and I being with you every step of the way, we take a lot of pride in what we do. Both he and I in this industry for over 25 years, and we wouldn't be doing it if we weren't having fun. And some of our best friends, some of our better friends are coaches.
Or the coaches themselves,
and we're proud of that.
Well, thanks again to Vinny and Tom here. We'll be right back from the WPIAL Insider Show presented by Home Team Collections and Edgar Snyder & Associates. Thanks again to Tom and Vinny. Links down below. You spend your life on the field, in the gym, or on the court. You know what it means to be part of a team, to push for a goal, and to chase a win. What if you could take that same drive and turn it into a high-paying career? BMAC Logistics is looking for people just like you for their Beaver and North Shore Pittsburgh office locations. BMAC is a top 100 freight brokerage in the U.S., and they know what the best athletes make to make the best sales professionals. Why? Because you're already wired for success. You're competitive, you know how to work with a team, and you're not afraid of rolling up your sleeves and putting in that hard work to get the ultimate reward. At BMAC Logistics, you'll join a high-energy team as an inside sales representative. It doesn't matter if you're fresh out of high school, college, or already have some experience. BMAC Logistics will give you the training and the support you need to succeed. If you have that natural hunger to win, you could be earning a 6-figure salary within the first 15 to 18 months. Ready to take your competitive spirit to the next game, to the next rewarding career? Join the swarm at BMAC Logistics and apply today. Thanks for BMAC Logistics for sponsoring the WPIAL Insider Show.
Welcome back inside the WPIAL Insiders Show. Back with Carlos Zofko, Brad Everett, Matt Fargo. It's all presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates here from the Blast Off Cleaning Equipment Studios. And, of course, it's also brought to you tonight by Home Team Collections. First edition of the WIPY Awards, gentlemen. Congratulations to our Player of the Week. But now we get to hand out our very own awards. Each week, we are going to pick a name of an award and hand it out digitally, so don't expect anything in the mail. Sorry, we're balling on a budget.
Here's
here,
your
okay?
like.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah, these have no monetary value at all. Yeah.
You
See
can't
what's
cash
behind
these
this
in.
set, you
Yeah,
know?
you
It's
can't
just,
cash these in.
This is actually, we're outside here. This is just a parking lot with
But
a
you
wall.
get 300 shroot bucks.
But lots of bragging rights. That's what we're looking at here. Bragging rights.
Bragging rights are at stake. So the first edition of the Whippies on the red carpet. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
I'm gonna give my whippy out to a kid from Quaker Valley. Quaker Valley football we're talking about here? Yes, we are. We're talking about Quaker
Quakers.
Valley football. The Quakers, they've had some stat sheet fillers in basketball in recent years. The Thieros, of course, Adu and Mimi. Marcus Frank was a big guy in basketball a couple years ago. He would do it all. But Mr. Do-It-All Award this week goes to my man Ben McHenry, a senior at Quaker Valley, who on Twitter he lists himself as a wide receiver, defensive back, athlete, and I think athlete would be the most would be the best one there, I think, to describe him. In a 38-20 win against Freedom, listen to what Mr. McHenry did here. Offense, rushing, 13 carries, 110 yards, a touchdown. Passing, 1 of 1, 47 yards, a touchdown. Okay, great, pretty good, efficient offensive numbers there. Defense, 10 tackles, interception. Pretty good. You know, good, very good two-way performance here. But Mr. McHenry's not done there. 89-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. 3 for 3 on PATs.
Come on, he's the kicker.
He kicked a 37-yard field goal.
Come on.
He kicked a 40-yard punt. He pinned inside the 5-yard line.
Nice.
Oh, and I'm not done yet. He blocked the extra point as well.
You're
on the
kidding
game.
me.
I mean, this dude.
Hey, Ben McHenry, he was on my WPIAL top prospect list.
Was he really?
Oh, yeah. And people are like, hey, who's this kid from Quaker Valley? They won whatever games. I was like, no, this kid's really good.
He just walked around.
I
that
didn't
field
know
and
he
said-
was the kicker,
he
the
said-
punter, the field goal blocker.
He said, I'm him. I'm him is what he said that night. He did it all for them. So shout out to Ben McHenry. Hope to see you do more of this as the season goes on, because that was quite the remarkable performance.
Congrats on your first WIPY award.
Yeah,
Mr. McHenry.
WIPY
Yes,
award.
the first whippy. You're the first one to do it.
First
so,
one
hey,
goes
great
down.
job.
It will be a trivia question someday on Jeopardy. Who was the first Whippy Award?
The Mr. Do-It-All Award.
Well, there you go. My Whippy Award will go to the undefeated season award to the Connellsville Falcons.
Hey!
Connellsville.
Connellsville is undefeated,
Man.
and it's thanks in large part to Lincoln, no relation to Helen Keller. Lincoln Keller,
Putting the Falcons on the map.
hat trick, 18-yard run, 55-yard pick six, and a 70-yard punt return to the house. 3 touchdowns, and Latrobe takes down Latrobe Wildcat 28-13. The Connellsville Falcons
I knew
over the Wildcats.
Connellsville could do it. I've been
Oh,
beating
don't
this.
say
I've been
that. You're
beating
gonna
this drum
jinx
for
it.
2
Oh,
years.
my goodness.
The Falcons are back, baby.
Connellsville getting love. Somewhere Marcus Furman is sitting listening to this podcast with a big smile on his face here, man.
But I for the flack that Connellsville takes
There we go.
at times,
Yes. There
they
we
get
go.
good news. They're 1-0, and shout out to Lincoln Keller for helping the Falcons move to 1-0. Let's see if they can
Make it
make
2-0.
it 2.
That'd be great. Congrats on your WIPY award, Connellsville.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, my WIPY award. This is the Never Back Down, Never Give Up award. Team with the most unbelievable comeback. Couple nominees: North Allegheny coming back down 12 or 10 points, whatever it was, against Woody High. Mount Pleasant coming back down 23-0 against Jeanette.
Yeah,
Or the Carleton Cougars coming
Yeah.
back down 12-0 against Carrick. Ended up winning 20-12.
Okay.
And the winner is the Mount Pleasant Vikings.
Oh, the
He did
Vikings.
nominations.
Did some
Oh,
nominations.
Overachiever.
He did. Look at this guy.
Down
Show off.
23-0, 23-8 at half, And, as soon as they went down 23-0, they said, hey, we need to win the battle of the turnovers. Steven Predajna, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. And, just a big win for the Viking program and Coach Fazekas for the Vikings. Last year, they lost this game. It was like a barn burner back and forth. So this one lived up to expectations. They split the series 1-1, but shout out to the Mount Pleasant Vikings, the never back down, never give up award.
I've only talked to one Mount Pleasant player that currently plays for them. Talked to him last year for this story I do on best names in the area, but they have a kid named Rage Sukar. Rage is his first name.
I like that. Is he a linebacker?
Exactly.
Oh,
Beautiful. He's a
Beautiful.
linebacker.
Just
the absolutely perfect name. But I'm sure Rage had his hands on that victory. I'm sure.
Nice. Oh, man. Rage Against the Machine.
There it is.
And just like that, we're up against a break.
We're cutting ourselves off here.
First edition of the Whippies is in the books, so congratulations to the first winners, and may you potentially win another one at some point this year. We'll be doing this all season long, so play well.
We're watching.
Make sure you're tweeting at us. But when we come back, it's everybody's favorite segment. It's the Pick'em segment. How did we do? And more importantly, do we think you're going to do well this week? When we come back on this edition of the WPIAL Insider Show, all presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. We'll be back after this.
WPIAL fans, get fired up. The original Big Shot Bob's in Avalon is the Wing King with over 300 flavors, made fresh every single time. Don't settle for less. Taste the best wings in the burg. Order now at OGBSB.com. That's OGBSB.com. The original Big Shot Bob's, where Pittsburgh wins with wings. Tell them WPIAL Insider sent ya.
Welcome back inside the WPIAL Insider Show. Back with Carlos Zofko and Brad Everett, Matt Fargo, along for the Week 1 ride across Western Pennsylvania high school football. And it is now time for everybody's favorite segment, the maybe. It could be legendary. It could be wildly popular. It could be, depending on who you ask, pick segment.
Oh, yeah. It's wildly popular, all right. And now let me tell you this. Instagram, I started posting on Instagram. I mean, that thing was flying all over the place from the kids sending it to one. It's probably the ones that we picked against.
Yeah, probably.
But naturally.
Naturally.
We're happy to be bulletin board material
love
here.
the BB
And
material, yeah.
2 clean sweeps that we got murdered on last week.
Sure did.
And the first one was, of course, Imani Christian.
How about the Saints?
The Saints, and I'm surprised nobody picked the Clarendon Bears, but Imani, we clean swept Clarendon. They do it, and then
I think this was more sentimental that no one wanted to pick against.
I agree. I
christening.
Exactly. That's kind of where I was on it too. I mean,
and the Mohawk Warriors.
How about them?
Over Neshannock. I did not see that coming. Bobby Fadden, very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, two clean sweeps flipped us upside down.
That gave Carlo and I records of 7-3. Brad falls a game behind at 6-4, along with you, the public. So not a terrible way to start the year.
No, but the team that let me down just happened to be my alma mater.
Yeah,
they
did.
were the last. They were the last game on the slate, I think, and had an opportunity to tie for the lead, and they just couldn't pull it out there. So Titans, man,
But
get it together.
A little bit optimistic moving forward for West Mifflin,
Yes.
playing right with Steel Valley, I would assume.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they should be right in there. Yeah, I mean, they had a pretty good game against EF. They played. Yeah,
Yep.
played EF. Yeah, and yeah, like that was a good one. So, yeah, Titans hopefully can show some improvement here.
All right, let's jump into it. We don't waste any time. Let's get into one of the biggest, if not the biggest, game of the week. Pine Richland is at Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Listen to this game on KDKA Radio. Watch and read Brad Everett's coverage of this game as Pine Richland takes on Central Catholic at Carnegie Mellon University. Kind of interesting. This series since 2015 is 4-4, evenly split. If you take it all the way back to 2010, Central Catholic leads the series by a game, 7-6. So this series, throughout its time, throughout the better part of a decade and a half, has been very close, most recently controlled by Pine Richland. Will that stay the case on Friday night?
I think it will. I think we're going to have a little bit of a repeat from last year when Central, played that big Eastern Power in week 1 and fell, and then they had to come back and play Pine Richland in week 1, the second week of the season, and they came up short in that game. I think Pine, they came back in that game last year too, right? Yeah, like they were down 11-0 at halftime, came back for a 22-17 win in that game. Big game for Obi Strader, was good in that game, had a TD pass, had a TD run. It'll be an interesting night for the Strader family. I tweeted something out about this later this week, but we have this big showdown between Central and Pine on Friday night. Also Friday night, his brother Rayon Strader, who is a transfer from Miami of Ohio, who's going to be making his SEC debut playing for Auburn against Baylor that night. The Strader family definitely will be watching a game live, probably watching one on their phone too as well at the same time. So that's pretty cool for them. But I like Pine. They didn't play as good of an opponent week 0. They played Findlay, Ohio, who I don't know what their talent is this year. They were about a 500 team last year.
They didn't have Big Ben.
They did not have Big. They did not. Exactly not. They did not have a Big Ben on that team. I'll tell you what.
Or any family members.
Or anything like that. But I think Pine keeps the momentum going. I think this is going to be a special year for them, and I think it's going to be a special year for Central too. But they just might have to bounce back from an 0-2 start again.
I'm going to roll with Pine as well. I almost feel like the addition of Khalil Taylor, like they got better. Pine did not just return. They got better. It's just hard for me. I think this game is obviously very even in the trenches, if not a nod to Central Catholic, which is going to be the way Pittsburgh Central Catholic can win this game. But I just think skill player-wise, eventually is going to be the difference in this one. And I think it's a lot closer. I think it's even closer than it was a year ago, but give me Pine.
And you talk about those skill guys. We knew those Pine Richland receivers. Khalil Taylor did not play last week, but Jay Timmons had a nice game. Well, he wasn't their leading receiver. Jalen Nils was the leading receiver. He had a big game, over 100 yards receiving. So at least 3 big-time targets now we're looking at for Obi Strader to throw to. Oh, yeah, and they got Mac Miller in the background. They're in the backfield, too, running the ball. So
the younger Nils were representing here, right?
Yes.
That's true. Sophomore guy.
The Rams.
I do my research.
I am also going Pine. Underrated storyline. Steve Bazzilla, longtime Central Catholic offensive coordinator, was, quote unquote, in line to take over at Central Catholic when Terry Todd retired. That, of course, did not happen. He moves on to Pine Richland as their OC. 2-0 against his former school and his alma mater, going for 3-0. So and if you don't think that there's a little bit extra game plan for Coach Bazzilla and even Coach Lehmeyer on the opposite side of Central Catholic for this game, you're incorrect, because there is. But I'm taking my former coach Steve Bazzilla to go 3-0, and let me tell you this. Central Catholic alumni are not happy with Mr. Insider.
I just got a text that you're no longer welcome to alumni events. That's weird.
That's a shame.
It's crazy.
I picked against them on the radio. I picked LaSalle, and somebody tweeted, "Somebody take Kay Zofko's Central Catholic diploma." I said, and I responded, "Wait till you see my pick next week." I have it as this is number 1 versus number 2 in the WPIAL. I won't pick against Central again the rest of the year, but this is the one I think that. This is the one I don't think they get, so I'm taking Pine.
Yeah, cool. How many times have we had a matchup of quarterbacks with Power 4 offers in the WPIAL? I mean, that doesn't happen very often. But I mean, matchup between Herrick and Ubi Strader. I mean, they both have offers from Syracuse, a lot of other interest. That's kind of neat in itself because that's not every day.
We have a lot of those, the Power Four battles coming up this season, though, in terms of D1 dudes on both sides of the coin.
McKeesport, West Mifflin, Armand Hill against Keemon Spell. That's one. Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
I think there's 28 Power Four commits right now. Which is the most in the WIPY in the last 15 years going in a season. Now, a decent majority of them are juniors, not seniors. So there is that, but that's just Penn State.
Makes it exciting for us for next year,
Absolutely.
too.
Absolutely.
So, like along those lines, just to throw off real quick, check out the Pittsburgh Union progress on Thursday. I did a story on Power Four guys from the WPIAL and City League that are in Power Four right now. I was amazed. There is going to be a WPIAL or City League player at 24 Power Four schools this year, which might be the most ever. I don't know. I mean, I don't go much further back than like the 80s or, maybe like the late 80s or so, but that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Half that. And a big reason is the transfer portal.
Yep.
Because there's going to be local guys at 10 Big Ten schools this year, at 5 SEC schools, and you got guys, like I talked to Dayon Hayes, he's down at Texas A&M, Rayon Straders at Auburn, Levi Wentz is at Kansas, Marcus Watson Trent from Blackhawk, he's in Nebraska, and a lot of these guys are playing key roles at these schools, and you got Tamir Robinson at USC. Heck, I mean, it's a non-Power Four school, but Julian Duggar's up at Washington State. Yeah. So, I mean, the WPIAL and City League is coast to coast right now, and I don't know if this is something we've ever seen.
It's a fun time to be on the inside of the WPIAL, that is for sure, as that continues to produce some great talent. And we already talked about some of the talent that went away that could have added to that number.
Yeah.
And Brooks and
Larry
Henry.
and Henry.
Yeah,
there's
my
a
goodness.
Lot. Oh, Henry.
All right, next pick, the Mars Fighting Planets are at Bethel Park. Blackhawks are hosting. Talked about Bethel Park's high offensive output, but Mars had pretty impressive offensive output last week, Brad.
Sophomore quarterback Colin Urasnek. I probably butchered that name. Was not familiar with him. Nate Walker was the guy that was expected to be the starting quarterback. Not sure if he's injured or what's going on there, but Colin came in 4 touchdown passes. Old Gabe Hine. I mean, just
Gabe Hine is a bad dude.
Gabe Hine's a machine out there. So they had a big. I mean, they beat Beaver 42-7. I mean, pretty comfortable win there. Mars off to a good start. And then Bethel Park, of course, we talked a little bit about their offense, David Dennison. I covered this game last year. Bethel Park won surprisingly, 49-13. I mean, very easily in that game. David Dennison and Javon Moore both ran wild in that game. Dennison 140 and 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to take Bethel again. But please, Mars, please do not block me again on Twitter. One block was enough.
We've come
made
so
it 1
far.
week.
I gotta pick a winner and loser here, and I'm gonna go with Bethel Park.
Carlo, you want to take this?
This is a tough one. I think that Eric Kasparowicz is one of the best coaches in the WPIAL, and I think Phil Peckage is almost kind of like Eric Kasparowicz, just a younger version of him.
Yep.
I think that there's a lot to like with this matchup, this coaching matchup. But I'm going to go Bethel Park. I'm going to go with the 5A team here. They just got a little bit more on that offensive line, and Mars has a really good offensive line and defensive line. I think Bethel just has a little bit more firepower.
I think this would have been it would have been even harder to pick this game if it wasn't for what Bethel did against Seneca in week 1 with what they did offensively. I think there were so many question marks going into this, and Bethel answered a lot of them for me, at least for now. So I'll give me the Blackhawks at home. So we'll go chalk all the way there as well. All right, Moon goes to Thomas J. Burko Stadium. The Tigers fresh off a 1-point win against Trinity. Meanwhile, Montour was able to take care of Central Valley, and these teams walk into this border rivalry as the Spartans and Tigers meet up again.
I don't know what to think of this game.
I think that's a good way of feeling.
I mean, like Moon, I thought they were a little bit better, but it's almost like that flip side. Maybe Trinity's better than what I thought.
Sure.
Montour, I thought was going to take a little bit of a step back this year.
Did not.
It looks like they did not, but, maybe Central Valley took a step back too, So I don't know what to think of either team. My heart tells me to go with my gut, which is I have Moon ranked higher on my top 25. So I'm going to take Moon here, but I don't know. This Brandon Bennett at Montour really surprised me, but I'm going Moon.
Yeah, good game for Caden Horatio, too. The running back had the game-winning touchdown for Montour against Central Valley. How about Andrew Cross, the Penn State baseball recruit, had the late TD pass for Moon in the win against Trinity right there. I have a hard time figuring out this game, too. I mean, I picked Central Valley to beat Montour in that first one in a close one. That didn't happen. I did pick Moon to beat Trinity, though, so, at least I had that.
We all did, Brad.
Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't be gloating about that, is what you're saying, I guess.
But that was a lot closer than
It
what we
was.
thought.
That was a 1-point game. So I think this is a toss-up. I had Moon as my sleeper team in 5A this season. I think, I'm going to have to roll with them this week. I'll take the Tigers.
I kind of wrote down, I said, this was a decision pick.
Mm-hmm.
And with you guys both going Moon on the road, this is what I think. Moon's defense is really good. But I think they're going to need some time to orchestrate and implement this new offense that they did not run a season ago.
Yeah.
And I think that partnered with the fact that I think Montour has their offense already firing on all cylinders. And how many times do you go against Lucero at home?
Yeah, it's not easy.
I'm going to go Montour.
Okay.
And I think this game's going to be good. I think
Moon, the pressure just got turned up a million times by Mr. Insider. So
jumping
do
on
not
an
let
island
me down.
I mean, you went against your alma mater. I'll go against my hometown.
Yeah, there you go.
Not my alma mater, but my hometown.
Yeah, I'm going against where I live at now, too. Montour. I'm afraid I picked against Mars and Montour. They're both going to win. They're both going to be upset. I'm going to be blocked on Twitter come Monday, and I'm going to be evicted. So, they're going to be like, you know what, Brad, get your butt out of Kennedy Township. We don't want you here anymore.
Best spread in the WPIAL, by the way, at
Yes.
Thomas J. Burka Stadium. Who didn't put them on the TV schedule this year?
Dummy. Questionable.
This is a good one for you. The Newcastle Red Hurricanes are 1-0, and they'll take on the 1-0 Hopewell Vikings at Tony Dorsett Stadium. And this game, Newcastle ran away with a season ago, 49-19. The Red Hurricanes beat Hopewell. The last time Hopewell started 2-0, 2016. Not quite. They went 5-0 that year. But I don't think they're going to go 2-0 this year. Give me the Newcastle Red Hurricanes at home.
I'm with you there. Give me the Canes, although I do think it will be a close game. I don't think it'll be like last year. Last year's score was a little bit surprising. But give me the Canes, cuz.
All right, so Canes cuss. I like it. That's a nice little one right there. Canes cuss.
Might catch on. There might be T-shirts in Newcastle next week.
Who's hot? Who's hot? I said Newcastle, and I'm going to pick against Newcastle now. That doesn't make any sense.
On the island.
But I'm going to go with the Hopewell Vikings. They, that was what
That
a
island
team
in
we talked
Antarctica.
about last week. It's all the way out there. It was Iceland. Yeah, and I mean they were. This was a team we talked about Hopewell last week as being a team that could be on the rise this year, and they definitely looked the part last week. Beat Riverside 56-0. Boo Boo Armstrong, the sophomore quarterback, 13 of 18, 263 yards, 3 touchdowns, also 5 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. I think Hopewell wins. I think they eventually go to 4-0 with a big matchup against Avonworth. That would be a big one against Avonworth coming up. I guess that would be week 4. Yeah, that'd be week 4. But so we'll see what happens. But I'm going with the Vikings this week.
What happens if Boo Boo gets a Boo Boo?
I don't know. Probably just puts a Band-Aid on, I guess, right? I don't know. Good question.
Questions that came
fair
in my head. Yeah. The Aliquippa Quips take on the Bell Vernon Leopards, 2 teams that did not participate last week. I'm saying that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And this game didn't happen last year. If you recall, Mother Nature put a halt to it. So we'll see if this edition of the Quips and the Leopards will actually happen. But, of course, the headline in this story is the return of Mike Warfield as the head coach of the Quips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike Warfield back after a 1-year hiatus there at Aliquippa. He's back. And also a new coach at Bell Vernon, too. Yeah. Scott Breyer takes over from Matt Humbert, who had tons of success in his stay there at Bell Vernon. Still the athletic director there. But, yeah, Breyer against Warfield here. I think the Quips just more talent on this team. We'll see, but I'm pretty confident. The Mike Warfield has them in gear, and they'll be ready to go here week 1. Although different cast of characters. No Tyke Hayes on this team anymore. Mm-hmm. Different stars. Of course, going to be led by Khalil Good out there. Receiver Marcus Council, the Yale commit at quarterback. So. We'll see. We'll see the Quips, but I think the Quips beat the Leopards.
Yeah, I like Aliquippa in this one as well. I think if the matchup was last year's with this last year's Bell Vernon against this year's Aliquippa, I think this is a lot more more interesting. But it isn't that way. It's the 2025 edition, and give me Aliquippa.
Yeah, last year was the Battle of State Champions. I feel like it didn't get enough pub
because it really wasn't. I feel like roster wise.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
but
right.
both teams kind of took a little step back. Aliquippa kind of had the game in hand, although the score was close. But you could tell that wheels were starting to turn and things were starting to change before the lightning struck. So I'm gonna stay how it was last year. I'm gonna go Aliquippa, although. Bell Vernon, new beach, new sand. We'll see how how the Quips can do on the burnt, phony grass. I call it sand. Matt calls it burnt grass. Well, I don't know.
What do you play football on?
In Bell Vernon, sand.
I thought I was going to get a quick one in there.
Sand of the Mon.
Well played, Mr. Insider. Well played.
Okay, South Park at Deer Lakes. I think this is a lot like the Moonmont Tour game. I really don't know what to think about this game, guys. Last year, Deer Lakes beat South Park, the eventual WPIAL champions, 35-22. Both of these teams victorious in their Week 0 matchups, but the Lancers get the home field advantage. Can they make it 2 in a row against the Eagles? Carlo?
Yeah, I love both programs, Coach Abbey at South Park and Coach Burke at Deer Lakes, both building them the right way. Deer Lakes, I don't know if they take that next step this year, but I think that they are close. Right now, I'm going to go Deer Lakes. I really like what Coach Burke is building. I would love to see them go on a run, maybe to a semifinals or finals. Not necessarily saying it, but I think they're still building in the right direction. I think that continues.
Handled KO pretty handedly last week. Do you like the Lancers as well, Bradley?
I do. Do I have enough to pick them? Do I like them enough to pick them, though? I just don't know. How about South Park? Yeah, 12-2 last year. The only losses was in the state playoffs, and then the one to Deer Lakes, 35-22. I'd originally have Deer Lakes in bold on my paper, but I'm gonna change it up right now. I'm gonna go South Park. I'm gonna go South Park. I'm gonna put my faith in Robert Lindsay, the quarterback. He was the top returnee for them this year, and he had a big game passing the ball, ran the ball pretty well. He was also one of their leading tacklers on defense in their Week 1 game. So, yeah, I'll take South Park. Not feeling too great about the pick either way here, but give me the Eagles.
I think Deer Lakes is better than they were last year, and I think South Park is not as good as they were last year.
So you're going South Park?
Oh, man.
Nope.
Oh,
nice try. Come on over here, brother.
Damn it.
And I'm on the
Give me
island, and
the Lancers.
Man, you getting lonely over there, Brad.
You still haven't
I'll
gone
tell
on
you
one
what.
yet.
No, not
I
the
already
whole
don't
year.
feel
This
that.
Not the
season.
whole year.
That's a new strategy for him this year, I guess. All right, let's see if we can get you on one here. Another great matchup, little Newcastle showdown between the Mohawk Warriors and the Laurel Spartans. Mohawk 32-27 winners a year ago when this game featured 2 0-1 teams. Now it features 2 1-0 teams as Mohawk got the win against Neshannock. Laurel got the win against Elwood City.
2 nice wins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
impressive.
really nice
It's
wins.
mayhem in Newcastle right now with the Red Hurricanes. Mohawks beating Neshannock.
Jeez.
Laurel's beating Elwood City. What's going on?
And these are 2 of my favorite players. Colton Carlson at Laurel will be up for Play of the Week. We're actually voting on it tomorrow, our Home Team Collections Play of the Week, for the halftime show of the Steelers High School Showcase. But, man, it's tough to pick against him, but it's even tougher to pick against Bobby Fadden. And guess what? I already picked against Bobby Fadden last year.
Burned you once.
Last week, and it burned me once. So I don't know what to do. I'm just going to pick Laurel just because I like Colton Carlson a little bit more. I think the win over Elwood City
That's impressive.
It was a dominating
lopsided,
win.
43-14.
Yeah, it was a dominating win. So I'm going to go with the Spartans here. But I still love my Warriors. So even though I'm 0-2 in picking them, I still like them. I like them.
I am going to go with Mohawk on the road here. I like the Warriors. They found a way to get it done. Last year, I think this is similar to last year in terms of how close this game is, but something just tells me to go with the Warriors. Might have been Carlo going with Laura, honestly.
Who's he going to put on the island?
Matt, I am right alongside you on this. I'm going to go with Mohawk, too.
Oh, there it is.
We're going to send the insider. The insider is going to be on there with a palm tree and, with his little, with a little cocktail there with a little umbrella in it. And he's going to be upset when he finds out that his team didn't win. He's going to spill that cocktail all over himself, and he's going to be really upset.
It could be. It could be.
Well, that means now, by my calculations, all three of us are on an island this week, so that always makes things a little more interesting.
Yes.
So we'll keep an eye out on that. All right, next one, Steel Valley Ironman at Washington. The Little Prexies hosting the Ironman. Of course, we mentioned the loss of assistant coach Ron Todd. Heavy hearts for the Little Prexies going into this game, and sure to be a somber and emotional pregame
no doubt
in Washington.
And they're home, so
a matchup like a matchup of SBS recruits who are quarterbacks for their teams, but are going to be playing different positions in college. Day Barksdale from Still Valley, he's a quarterback, but he's going to be a DB at Pitt. And then Tristan Reed, the quarterback from Wash High, he is going to Miami of Ohio as a wide receiver. So these guys in different roles right now, but these teams both very familiar with them, with each other. Third meeting in the last year. They played early last year. Still Valley won that one, and then Still Valley won in the playoffs 49-28. So this is a rematch of that game. But Still Valley, no Donald Barksdale. They had Donald Barksdale in that game, and he was the big guy. So don't have him. You throw in, like you said, Matt, like the passing of Ron Todd. How is that going to affect the mindset of Washington? I do like Still Valley, maybe a little bit more talented, although, man, that Wash High team I think is going to be really good this year. But I think Still Valley stays on top. They're number 1, number 2 in a lot of the polls. I'll take the Ironman.
I'm going to go with the Ironman too, and I don't think there's. I want to, from my heart saying Washington and what they're going to. These kids are going to be playing their hearts out, but I think Barksdale's going to be just a little bit too much for the Prexies on Friday.
And I would have taken Wash High, but watching that Steel Valley game back, I mean. Deron Barksdale is back. Last year, he's coming off the injury and he got cleared super late, if you remember. I don't want to say he was a shell of himself, but he certainly wasn't 100%. He looks like he's 150% this year. I'm going to go Steel Valley as well. I just think he's going to have a lot of juice in that two-way read.
All right, a single A, double A showdown between Fort Cherry and the single A defending champs against Our Lady of the Sacred Heart and Moon High School. Fort Cherry was 41-14 winners against the Chargers last year. Matt Sig goes to Moon Township, and does he run away with this one?
I'm never picking against Matt Sig ever again. So, I mean, we might as well not have Fort Cherry on the pick'em because I'm picking Fort Cherry every week. I will never make that mistake ever again.
Olsh has the most kids they've ever had in football history on the team. 52 rostered. Big part of their co-ops with Montour Propel and Eden Christian Academy are putting those numbers up there, but largest numbers ever for Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. And I mentioned they're playing at Moon High School, and a little bit of breaking news I was going to mention in the Moon game and then forgot. But Moon High School getting new stands and press box next year, meaning Moon football will play their home games, and likely Olsh is going to have to find another place to play. But Moon will play at Robert Morris University on Friday nights.
Cool.
So
it takes them a whole year to do
apparently.
that? Like they just can't do it. Well, you know what? I guess
Moon Township, Carlo. They like doing things nice and slow.
I guess there is more sports than just football, but
yes,
that's just still odd to me.
I would agree with you, but, as Olsh has great experience with, they are refurbishing their basketball gym. They did not play their whole basketball season last year, and it is still not done.
Oh, no way.
Will be done for this season?
So, yeah.
It is.
I
Okay.
hopefully. So they say.
As long as there's no roadblock.
But, volleyball currently figuring out where they can play. So, it's slow and steady wins
there's
the race.
more sports than just football, but, man,
Just had a flashback to Jake DeMichael on our basketball podcast telling us the story about Mike Rodriguez's gun falling out of the court. I just started cracking up. Like, oh my god!
You got to go back and watch that one.
Go back and listen to one of our podcasts from basketball season. You can hear all about that.
That was great.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Carlo, you were so confident in that Fort Cherry pick and the Matt Sig pick and everything, and you said you would never. Would you? I wonder if this is going to change your mind when I let you know that one of their players this year, he's from Propel Montour. They have a kid named Prentice Oregon, like Oregon. Even better, his nickname's Bam Bam. He's a 5'9", 180-pound junior running back. Scored a touchdown against Rochester there on Friday night. So Prentice Bam Bam Oregon is running for your team. I mean, that has to be worth something there.
I don't think so against Matt Sig. No, very little to me.
Very little.
When you go up against Matt Sig, Big Ben could come and be Olsh's quarterback.
Right.
I'm taking the Rangers. I'm not doing it again. Not doing it.
Well,
he's burned me twice. Not doing it again.
Well, I too am taking the Rangers. Prentice Morgan, man. Hope the best for you, man. Hope you have a great season. But yeah, this is going to be it's a tall hill for any team to climb.
Brad, he could run for 500 yards, and I think Matt Sig would find a way to win. Matt will run for 501. That's what it is.
He would. And he barely threw in this game last year when they played them because remember he was dealing with that thumb injury. But he's healthy now, so I think he'll throw again. He didn't really throw or run very much in the opener, but he still scored a couple touchdowns. It doesn't take much for him to make an impact. But yeah, Fort Cherry, I think they go to 2-0.
All right. Interesting matchup here. The Baldwin Fighting Highlanders against the Fox Chapel Foxes. Pair of winless teams, 0-1 to this point.
This is the game of the week.
No.
WEAK.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Oh.
You're just running roughshod through the communities that built you.
Yes.
The best part about this show is that we could take our weekly shot at Baldwin, and it doesn't matter because nobody from Baldwin listens to the podcast. we've been doing it week after week. Nobody has said a word yet. So
I will
the game
say
of the week.
when we were doing the basketball podcast and Baldwin lost to the 16 seed.
Yeah.
That was
not good.
That was
Oh
bad.
my goodness! Yeah, that was huge breaking news
Yeah.
right there in the podcast.
And all they had to do was win one game to make it to a state tourney.
That didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Anyway, I'll go first in this one. There's one Division I player in this game, and Brad's going to tell you all about him. So I'm not going to steal his thunder because it's well written and way more better research than I can do. However, because of that, give me Fox Chapel.
So I'm going to interpret that as saying Haran Zurikat, the Georgia recruit who's a kicker for Fox Chapel, he's going to kick the game-winning field goal, and Fox Chapel's going to win 3-0. Is that what you're saying?
It might happen that way. It might happen that way.
Okay. Fox Chapel won this game last year, so they're looking for 2 in a row against Baldwin, who I believe has the longest losing streak in the WPIAL right now, 19 games, I want to say. So they're going to try to get off the schneid. Fox Chapel had a long losing streak too, but they won their opener last year. But yeah, I agree. I think Fox Chapel with Haran. Yeah, Haran does something, kicks a field goal.
Maybe they get 9.
Something.
Maybe they get 3 field goals. I don't know.
Maybe they get something. Yeah, but I think Fox Chapel. Yeah, they find a way.
2 players I like in this game, other than of course Mr. Zerikat. Baldwin's Vince Broccoli, number 144.
That's a great name too, Vincent Broccoli.
Vincent Broccoli, number 144 on my prospect list. Very good defensive lineman. And then the reason I'm taking Fox Chapel is Mr. Thomas Billings, number 160 on my prospect list, but he's a tight end and linebacker. Thomas Billings, very, very tough dude. I like the Foxes this week.
All right, game of the week. Watch it. WEEK. Steelers High School Showcase Game of the Week takes us to McKeesport. We're going back to the Mon Valley 2 weeks in a row. This time to see the Peters Township Indians take on the McKeesport Tigers, a battle of 2 teams that made it to the WPIAL championship in their respective classification, but came up short of the title. Both teams have championship aspirations. Those can't be fulfilled on Friday night, but after a 42-7 win last year for Peters Township, can this game be close Brad Everett.
I think it's going to be close. I think a lot of people would be surprised to know that Peters Township won this game so convincingly last year, and they did a great job against Keymon Spell. 20 yards on 5 carries in that game wasn't much of a factor. Of course, he was last week. He was very much a factor last week in that game.
How does he only get 5 carries in that game?
I don't know exactly how
odd.
that. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened there. I have heard question about his performance last week, how good that Delaware Valley team was, maybe some questions about that, but they were a 5A team, and there's just something about the way he ran and that burst and that toughness and that strength that carries over no matter who they play. So I think he's going to be an absolute problem the entire season. Not that that's breaking news by any means, but I think Peters, though, I think they're in a much better job to defend him. They have those great 2 ends, of course, there with Lehman and Shanafelt, 2 Power 4 kids, and they have the offense too with the Lucia quarterback. So I think they can get him on both ends. This is going to be a heck of a game, and Spell, he very well could run for a $150, 200 again. But I think Peters Township just overall just a little bit stronger of a team. I think both of those teams probably among the top 5 or 6 in the entire WPIAL. I think I would put them. But I think Peters Township by a field goal in this game.
Carlo.
Well, I don't think so, Brad.
Oh,
he did.
This
That's his
Peters
own version.
Township defense, it is exotic. It's a 3-3-5, I believe. It gave McKeesport fits last year, and their only touchdown came on a Javian Robinson. He kind of popped the ball up and scooped and scored it the other way. It was all Peters last year. Does McKeesport make significant improvements? I think maybe, but I don't think there's any 4A team that's going to touch Peters Township.
Wow, okay.
I think Peters is the cream of the crop in the WPIAL right now. So I'm going to go Peters, and I'm going to say Peters by like 21. I think it's going to be
okay.
I don't think it's going to be dominating, but I think it's going to be a nice, comfortable win.
Thanks. Great. You can watch this game on KDK Plus, at least most of it.
You don't even have to watch past the first quarter. It's going to be all, no. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a game. I hope it's a game.
Thankfully, we can all rest on our laurels. You have been before, so
I was third place in picks last year for what it's worth. Out of 3.
And we did.
Did you beat the Publico?
I did beat the
Publico.
Publico. You can watch this game on KDK Plus, Steelers High School Showcase. Myself, Arthur Moach joins me in the broadcast booth with Susie Cool down on the sidelines. Kind of bummed that Mike Logan won't be joining us because he's a McKeesport legend, but kind
put him
enough
in the Hall of Fame.
Put him in the WPIAL Hall of Fame. How is this guy? He's a Super Bowl champion. How is he not in the WPIAL Hall of Fame? I told him last week that I'm going on a Mike Logan for WPIAL Hall of Fame campaign this year.
You can be his campaign manager.
Yes, it's happening. Vote Mike. But Mike was nice enough to do the voiceover that you'll hear on the cold open. That is just gives you the goosebumps going into this game. You guys know the names and the faces of this one. I mean, there's no secret of the D1 dudes.
Oh yeah,
that are on both sides of the ball for both teams.
Yeah,
I mean it is packed with elite talent. I mean, how often do you not the number 1 running back in the country?
You got to tune in to see this guy. Like, he's legitimately must-see TV.
Yes, and going up against some very smart guys on the Peters Township side, some Ivy League guys. Looking forward to calling this one, but I'm going to go Peters Township. I just think collectively they didn't lose very much. I mean, I think Peters is going to be able to play with Pine when it comes down to it. I think
this is not a knock on McKeesport. I just think it's saying, hey, Peters is
really
that level right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spell, did you happen to see the latest Spell scholarship offer? it wasn't for him. It was for his younger brother.
I did.
The 8th grader.
Yeah.
8th grader got offered by Penn State, huh? I mean, not.
So somebody brought
Way
this
to
up to
double
me.
down there, Nittany Lions.
Yeah, they saw Kamon's touchdown run and said, "Yeah,
Like,
anybody."
Like, we will offer anybody you would like to
They're
offer.
gonna
We
get
would
the
like.
older one in the portal, who's at Cal U.
That's right.
Yeah, his
Keith Spell.
Keith Spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was talking to head coach Gary Dunn at Cal U, and he said, "Hey, Keith Spell's a dude."
He was a monster,
I said,
yeah, he
"Really?"
was
And
very
he
good.
actually did say he might be a portal guy after this year.
There
So
you go.
you never know. But yeah, if somebody brought this up, is he the youngest player to receive an offer in WPIAL history?
I don't think so.
That's what I said. There's no way.
I think
Yeah.
that there's been a couple middle schoolers that have
I've
gotten
had-
a couple.
I've done stories in kids in recent years that have been offered like in 8th grade, but later on in 8th
Yeah.
grade. I mean, this
he
early in
hasn't,
8th
he
grade.
hasn't stepped. Yeah, he hasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
started
I mean, he
class
probably
yet.
just started. Yeah, so I mean, it might have been before his 8th grade year. So
Yeah.
it might have been one of the earliest ones. I mean, his
It was
name's
a good
King
question.
Jones, I believe.
Yeah, King.
Jones.
I have a good question. I've heard the variations of it, and I'm going to get the answer to it before Friday night. But is it Keemon or come on? Because I've heard both.
I've always said Keemon. I could be wrong on that, but I thought Keemon.
I am.
That-
this is where I'm the
I'm
1%.
perplexed now.
I was told it's come on.
Okay.
I
Come
could be-
on,
I
man.
could be
Yeah, come on,
totally
yeah.
wrong.
Come on, man.
Could be totally wrong. But I was
Okay.
told come
Well-
on a while ago. And now that I think about it, I don't know if that's correct.
Upon further review, we're
I'm
going to
going
review.
with come on.
We'll have the answer for you next week, or on the Steelers Showcase, because I promise I'll say it right to somebody anyway. We're gonna ask Keemon. We're gonna ask Mr. Spell what he would prefer.
Right.
All right, there you go. There's our picks. Carlo will be covering Pine Richland Central Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I have our game of the week, Peters Township at McKeesport. Brad will also be at Central Catholic at Pine Richland.
I'll see you again,
Yeah,
Brad.
I'll see you there. Yeah.
You guys just don't like
Buddy
me or
buddies.
something.
Buddy buddies.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I guess it's the perfect time for a new segment, FaceTime, for the winner of last week's Pick'em. Carlo and I tied, and he graciously, as the defending champion that I am, handed me the first week of FaceTime, which I figured I'd take a moment to clear up my who is not pick from last week. I picked Sarah Catholic to not be the sleeper in the class, and this I didn't get a chance to explain myself, so people ruffled some feathers.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think is probably the best way. And let's make this very clear: all of us are never going after kids or in any stretch of the imagine have ill will towards anyone. That this is certainly prognosticating, and we're making it good for you, the viewer. If we all sat up here and said that everybody was great and we thought everybody was winning and no one would lose, it wouldn't be a very interesting show now, would it? So from that perspective, it is not mean. I actually very much enjoy the student athletes at Sarah Catholic, and I think they're a great athletic program. They've done some great things, and that was kind of my reasoning before when Akeem Robinson came in and stood on the floor of Bill Cleary Court and said he believes he's the greatest coach to ever walk the halls at Sarah Catholic, and they had done nothing but introduce him as head coach. And I also thought that it was a little bit of a shot at Coach Regas, who he worked underneath as an assistant coach and won a WPIAL championship as a defensive coordinator, and they had a great season in 2021. But it was just for me, the second that you start making it a little bit more about you than you do the kids, is I think that that's not what high school sports are about. The reality is, no matter if we're a coach, a media member, a broadcaster, whoever you may be, concession stand worker, if you don't show up, someone else will, and the game will still happen. And that was my whole point of I wish Sarah Catholic the best of luck. I think that they have some tremendous talent on that team, but I hope that there's probably a little bit of more of a humbleness feel from last week. Again, wish them all the best, but I think that there was some learning curves that needed to happen there.
No doubt. Great first FaceTime. You started it off with a bang.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
I can't wait to do FaceTime next week.
You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait on that one. Sorry
yeah.
about that.
Who's my Big Island pick? Was it Laurel? Or
Yep.
Bond? Yep. Come on, Laurel. Come on, Spartans. We need you.
Spartans were up.
We need you.
Oh,
Try to be more positive next week.
Yeah.
Oh, and you picked Olsh over Fort Cherry, didn't you, Carter?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
kidding.
right. That's right.
Make sure you're following WPIAL Insider on all of the social medias. Keeping in mind, if you've been watching this show on X, it's now on Instagram, and it's going to
And
be on YouTube.
YouTube is being uploaded this week.
Okay, and for Brad Everett, obviously, on the Pittsburgh Union Progress side. Thanks so much for watching another edition of the WPIAL Insider Show, presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates. Until next week, make sure you're always keeping your receipts. Good night, everybody.